Hi Aquarius, welcome to your reading with me, Cindy. Aquarius, I want to look deep into you, my friends. I want to see the layers that other people are missing out on. We're going to look deep, Aquarius, that we are. I'm going to use the L key deck. What do we have here? She who sees, observe, perceive, and scrutinize. I kind of see that for Aquarius. Well, that's very air. I always see the process. I always see this process, like information coming in, but then it's like it sits in you and it transforms somehow, and then it becomes truth. So that's kind of unique that you would have that at the bottom. It's the only one. It's just the pre-shuffle energy, my friends. And then I have the Tarot of Positive Clarity with the Queen of Holy Shit. She's fun. The second. All right. I can never be like, perfectly elegant. You can dress me up, but you can't take, I don't know, you can't take the clumsy out of me. Anyway, so that's the Queen, she's the Queen of Holy Shit. The Queen of Pentacles at the bottom. I just think the first time I saw that card, I was like, holy shit, that's a big cornucopia. That's a big cornucopia we have there, Aquarius. So, okay. Should we start over again? I feel like really playful and silly in your energy. I like it. It's fun. All right. So then we have the teeny tiny Rider-Waite with the World, the Moon, and the Empress. Wow, that's kind of like sexy and mysterious, isn't it? It makes you feel small and confused and juggling responsibilities and hope and love. Anyways, it sounds like a novel for the human experience. Are you ready? That's just like the pre-shuffle stuff, man. We haven't even got started. So I'm going to ask who you really are. The mask you hide behind. Now, the mask that you hide behind is kind of more like how people perceive you, but it's not really the hard up truth, man. It's just like a thin layer of Aquarius. You know, if you're not looking in deeply, that's all you're going to see. So that, why you hide your true self, how this affects your relationships, advice for you, outcome should you follow the advice. Let's just get started, Aquarius. Hopefully I don't drop any more cards. I was born clumsy and I'm gonna die clumsy. I think I was very young. I don't know, I was in my teens. And I remember my mom saying, she said, oh God, Cindy, if you make it to the end of your life with all of your digits. And I did, I almost cut these two fingers off. Pray for me that I get to keep them all. Because I'm very squirmish. I don't like that. All right, Aquarius. I'm pulling it together for you, honey. Pulling it together. Who you really are. The mask you wear. Who you really are. You surprise. She who surprises discovery and revelation. I think, you know, you can be a bit of shock and awe. I think it feels like the energy, like in this reading, it's just like, it's like I'm in here. It's just, it almost feels like, even energetically, if your personality is never like that, like you don't just come into a room and like everybody, there's something physical about your presence or obvious. It's almost like there's an energetic whirlwind even around you. I don't know. I'm not reading for like your whole life. It's kind of like right now. So there's a bit of a surprise here. You are a surprise. You are unexpected. But in this, and I feel like you also find the unexpected. And then in this, you kind of find discoveries. You, revelations. There's that whole idea of, you know, like getting information from the ethereal and then it comes into you and you process it. I know, like I call you guys aqua babies, and I've had the odd person say, don't you know that Aquarius is not a water sign, it's an air sign? I do know that. But there's something that like almost all of your cards have some sort of representation about water, right? I feel very strongly that like, well, water comes from space. Can we just finish the discussion right there? Water comes from space. Well, everything came from space, really. But water did. It was the only way it can get to any planet. It comes in the frozen form in rocks. And maybe... Are you finally playing with the balls, Larry? Yeah, he just answered me. Wow. He's not happy because it's raining out and doesn't know what to do. And I was throwing the balls around and he wouldn't play. So now he's playing with them. But yeah, like you guys pull in stuff, even like frozen information, just the idea of that. Frozen information. You got something to say? Well, come and say it. Frozen information, and then you thaw it out and make it something that can be represented, something that can be understood. So I want to say too, like if you just show up to work, I wouldn't be surprised if there's the odd time you just kind of say something. And it makes people stop and think for a little bit. And maybe you read interesting excerpts from different authors and spiritual workers and things like that. I'm going to keep talking as I open the door to the basement for the cat. And it's kind of like you might say these things. There you go. See, I'm learning to multitask with a cat. You say these things off the top of your head even, perhaps. And people are like, where did that come from? It's like a surprise. What is Aquarius talking about? And then I think some people walk away and they think about it. That's interesting. What is Aquarius talking about? So, you're surprised, a revelation. The mask you're hiding behind. She who guides, new path, guide, and renewal. Oh, that's interesting. These are actually very similar to me. Yeah. Because discovering revelations, that's kind of like guiding, no? New paths, new ways of thinking. Renewing. When a path becomes stale and worn out, you create a new path here. So let's look at this more deeply, because I don't feel like this she who guides is a false representation. It's what people, again, see on the surface, but there's something deeper here. Revelation. Wow. I'm kind of feeling like y'all are kind of like little download machines. Yeah, it's really linking into that. Like, I feel like there's people that just maybe don't even know where things kind of come, where you just like say things. And I do feel like these things are maybe not even in context sometimes. And maybe you've been kind of pigeonholed as being a little bit odd. Can you keep up with the conversation, Aquarius? It just, because it feels like this is the kind of energy that is kind of vast and it moves and it changes and it's open to whatever could be coming in and to accept it and see what you can do with it, right? But most of us live in a world where everything is very, very pigeonholed, but very compartmentalized. And if you're not showing up in that compartment, it's like, what's going on with you? Can you keep up? It's like you're seen as deficient, where it should be looked as something new and refreshing. And I do believe that when you do kind of surprise people with perhaps, things that just pop into your head and you say them, I do honestly really believe that this creates a new path, a new way of thinking, perhaps helping to solve problems as well. People who are not so stuck in their ways, just a simple way to describe that, would definitely, they're seeing the path. And that's who we're talking about, okay, in your reading. Because I really do feel like there's some that are just be like, oh, Aquarius, I don't know what the hell they're talking about. But, You create changes and shifts in your environment. And your community groups, your work. And then you're kind of doing this in conjunction with the universe. I think we all are on some level, and maybe yours is just a little more pronounced. You're kind of like an antenna. And it's not just an antenna, it's an antenna, and then it does something with it. It's sort of like it's an antenna and a processor. It's very computerized, which is kind of funny because the 11th house does have to do with electronics and stuff like that, I think, right? Yeah, so Why you hide your true self? She who persists, perspective, defiant, and persistent. Well, now the only thing that's being hidden here is sort of the revelation part. Like the part of you that is really, really you here in this time and space is the part of you that drives what people are picking up on or what other people can use or what you can even use for yourself, right? So this is the part, the surprise is the revelation, the discovery. Being open to different things, being open to taking chances, being open to not saying the most appropriate thing. I'm getting that too. I think some of you maybe, there might be could be some filter to some. I honestly think that some of you too, with the way this card is sitting here, why you hide your true self is, I think some of you actually don't share a lot of what, excuse me, comes to your mind. Excuse me again. And you actually use this just to go a different way. You don't want to be stifled. I would say that. You don't want to be stifled. This is why you're persisting with kind of hiding surprising revelations too. It's okay. Here's the other thing I'm getting with this is that what the surprise is here is it's almost like you divulge things or you produce information in a manner, kind of in a timely manner where there's no going back. It's too late for anyone to make a decision. So the other thing that's coming up for me here with this is that you may also, there's something that I describe as providing people room to show you who they are. So, it's something that I've kind of picked up along the way in life. And I think I've done it more subconsciously. And even through these readings, like I learn a lot through these sort of channeling. And that's something that I become more aware of. And the benefit of doing that as well is if, there's someone around you or in your environment who is not kind of acting above board or something's not 100% right. You don't call them out on this right away. You keep kind of doing you. And even to the point where there could be some short-term detriment to you. Because when you allow when people think that they can pull one over on you and then they do, what does that say about them? I think that says more about them than it does about you. So I feel like you can be a sudden surprise to people. Like you might be working behind the scenes on things. And then when it comes to the board meeting, like, holy shit, where did that come from? And everyone else feels unprepared perhaps because they maybe underestimated you. But I think they underestimated you, maybe not so much based on experience. So these could be people that get to know you or are getting to know you. But this feels more like they underestimated you because it doesn't seem like you're doing anything. Because it's just like suddenly there's a revelation. And why do you hold that back though? Is because your perspective is persistent and defiant. So you refuse to present something. I want to say, I'm hearing the media, so I don't know if somehow you could be involved with the media. That also has to do with the 11th house, I think. So with the media, with groups, society, family, and I want to say it probably doesn't go over well with everybody because I'm almost seeing like a family, a group showing up to a restaurant and everyone's made plans. We're going to go eat at this restaurant and you get there and it's closed for renovations. I don't know but it's almost like you knew it was closed for renovations. But you're just like, you know what? I think it would do them all good to try something different. But like no one would. You could suggest it and no one's going to try anything different. So I want to say some people might see it as manipulative, but the thing is though, is it comes in to provide a new path, right? Like that's a new experience. Oh, well, we're all here right now. Let's go eat over there. I had lunch over there a couple of weeks ago. It was amazing, guys. I think you're going to love it. So then there's almost like some people are like, oh, Aquarius up to what Aquarius does. What's going on here? Oh, yeah, there's so much here. Because even just like driving with that scenario, it just sort of also feels like it's just a new path. It's like, well, none of us know what to do. Aquarius had a solution. That's so amazing. How this affects your relationships. She who begins, launch, actualize, and potential. My goodness. Yeah. There's kind of a way of working around those that do not wish to be worked with. Coming up with very unique ways here of producing new possibilities. It's kind of like forcing. I don't want to say that because you're working around an obstacle. And I feel like in some cases, people are their own obstacles. And they might even become an obstacle for you too. So what I'm seeing is I'm seeing a big boulder on a path. And nobody can get past the path, right? This boulder represents an individual. And everybody's walking on this path. And this boulder, you know, would like to continue along the path as well. But let's just say that there's a little divot, a little tiny divot in the path, and the boulders become lodged in the divot. So it's just, no, it's too much work. I don't know. I want to get out of the divot. I guess this is where the path ends. You know, like it's a little bit of that. It just feels like to me that represents either maybe a specific individual that you're dealing with right now, or people that you have dealt with in the past. They're showing up as like the boulder in the divot, and they won't try to move. So, but okay, so here's the thing. And maybe in the past you would talk to the boulder. You would say, you know what, the divot's not that big. We can all push together. Don't touch me. Stand in the divot. I don't want to crack. I don't want to break. It's like you don't even bother. You're just like, you're looking at the boulder in the divot, and then you kind of go around. It's not easy. I want to say it's not easy because what you're doing is not easy. You kind of go through the woods around, and then you find the path again. You catch up to the path. But you're like, but no one else is going to get to the path here because you did something different and unique. You came off the path, right? That's very Aquarian as well. So you came off the path, and what you're doing now is now you're digging. You're digging under the path, and you're creating like a tunnel, right? This is a different way to reach an original destination. But you couldn't reach the original destination because there was a roadblock, and that roadblock is kind of like stale or immovable thinking of others or someone else. So, you know, nobody knows what you're doing because it's the surprise, right? It's the surprise. You're digging, and then you get right to the divot, and you pull the dirt out, and the boulder, like, right, it rolls out, whoop, and comes up on the path, and everybody's rolling again. That's what this all feels like somehow. Because you launch it, you actualize, you create potential with this. And that's launching the boulder. Larry, you know, I'm working now. I am. I can't stop the rain, buddy. I guess it didn't rain much in Egypt. I'm really not a fan of it. Advice for you. Be present. Be in the now, awareness, and acceptance. It's interesting. That's like, don't think too much about the past and don't project into the future. Be present right now. What is it that you need to do right now? What do you need to be aware of right now? What's a priority right now? All right. So there you go. Okay. I'll come if you follow the advice. Well then. Well, that's a nice card. It's kind of like there's so much, right? And then your advice is just, just be in the, just be now, just be present. And that is a very, very like high level spiritual frame of mind. Just be in the now. So you might even be preparing for some sort of a surprise. You are the new path. You are the surprise. You're persistent as shit. And what this is going to do, this is going to actualize and launch relationships, because it's the relationship area. But right now, you just be present. Just be aware of what's going on in your world right now and what you need to address in it or attend to. Outcome, if you follow the advice, is wish is coming true. Wish is being granted here. She who grants wishes, wish, desires, and hope. Wow. Nice. The boulder is moving down the path. And, you know, this could also be somehow, like, maybe, this is interesting too, because now I'm seeing someone in a wheelchair as opposed to the boulder. Someone in a wheelchair, and let's say you don't have the strength to pick them up over the divot, to get them over, there's a divot. It's not stairs, because there's, I don't know how you would break, maybe you would break the stairs down, but that's even symbolic too. Is that there's an obstacle here. There might even be a handicap in terms of someone just can't do something. So you create access. You create access where access isn't. But you do this in a manner that is very unexpected. Yeah, it's almost like that's a bit of an advocate too, isn't it, right? That's definitely like an advocate energy. She who stands, resolute, implacable, and determined. Well, picking that up. Picking that up. So I'm going into the tarot. There's the Queen of Holy Shit. One more. You know, we're joking, myself and a friend of mine and my mom. So Mr. Larry, you know his story. I'm just going to say what, talk while I'm shuffling. He was a rescue from Egypt, and he was found on the streets, and he was all mad, and they shaved him down, and he was starving and whatnot. And so I never let him outside until moved to this house, because it's a beautiful yard and it's fenced in. He's very safe here, and he pretty much stays in the yard. But do you think he would go to the bathroom outside? He will not. He continues to come in to use his litter box, and everybody's laughing at that, because almost every cat would go outside and go to the bathroom, right? So we're laughing because after being homeless, he's probably like, I ain't never going to the bathroom outside again. I have indoor plumbing. I'm going to stick with that. It's so funny, right? Like he reminds me of like myself growing up, because in the 70s, I don't think kids are like this now, in the 70s and early 80s, I had breakfast and I went out, and I didn't come back again until I was hungry or had to go to the bathroom or went into a friend's house to do that. Because that's what he does. He goes out. He doesn't come in unless he needs to use the litter box or he's hungry. And then he does it and he goes right back out again. I'm like, man, it's like having a little kid. He's just using this as your way station here. So yeah, like you hear him when the weather's bad because he wants to just be outside all the time. It's kind of cute. All right, who you really are. Your thoughts on, tell me your thoughts on why Larry does not go to the bathroom outside. The Ace of Cups. Oh, you're nice. You're refreshing. You're a tall glass of water, I just heard. You're refreshing. You're a refreshing surprise. So that's interesting. This is all really nice. You're really a refreshing surprise. Goodness. You're almost like something that people... I want to say that, I guess I would, it's not even like something that someone imagined. It's almost like something that nobody did imagine. So that's, you know, because it's a surprise. But it's like a tall, cold glass of water. Very refreshing. A very refreshing surprise. You produce this for people. You create that. The mask you're hiding behind. New path, guide, renewal. 7 of Pentacles. Oh. Well, that's interesting. Because it looks like you're planning for something new here, right? Like you need to come up with a new plan for your future. But no, you are the future. It's interesting. You are. People think. Because you have the 7 of Pentacles now, this is interesting how that changes so much. Because you have the 7 of Pentacles with that, I feel like people have more of the impression that you're kind of looking for your path. Not sure what to do. Like you're looking for a new path. You're looking for some guidance. Because you have the 7 of Pentacles, you're trying to come up with some ideas. What should I do? How should I do this? But you're like, so I don't know, you already have a plan, but you're not saying anything, so I'm not really sure. Because you are a surprising discovery, a refreshing revelation. So people might also think that maybe you spend a lot of time thinking and planning and strategizing. Whereas, like to produce new paths. But honestly, the revelations. So it's like you get an idea and that's it. So that's what we're doing. That's interesting, huh? So why you hide your true self? Perspective, you're defiant and persistent. The fool, the fool. Oh, this path needs to be like no other path. This needs to be free. It needs to be unique. You know, and I got to do it my own way. So that's interesting. Again, though, like this is something like something refreshing about you. A surprising, refreshing discovery. Like, wow, what are you doing? No. A surprising, refreshing discovery. It's like people, I think they take a minute after they meet you. Like they think about you. They contemplate that. Or they will. Because this is the part of you that's kind of hidden. All right. It can only be the Aquarian way. Just be careful with that. You do what you want. The universe says you're doing great. So listen to me. So how this affects your relationships? Launch, actualize, and potential. Ooh, the 9 of Cups. It makes freaking dreams come true. Oh my God, what's sitting right underneath it? Is the fairy godmother granting wishes, desires, and hopes. Oh, that's crazy. Shit. You know what's really interesting is this woman is pregnant and it's coming in with the launch, actualize, and potential. That to me all describes a pregnancy. It could be the birth of something new. It could be an actual birth that you or someone close to you is preparing for. I think you have a doggy like you. I'm just looking at this dog. I'm really drawn to it suddenly, like it's looking at that person. I think animals are drawn to you. I don't know why that dog is there. Maybe some of you are going to get a dog. Something to do with a wish coming true here. A companion. Advice for you. Just be in the now. Oh, magician. Ooh. You're taking your steps here, right? The Fool, the Magician, 0 to 1. Okay, the energy that you are using right now, that you are kind of like using as a fuel to guide yourself forward. This is manifestation energy, very strong manifestation energy, because your advice is to be present. Don't try to create any outcomes here. Don't focus on the past. Doing either one could, I feel like if you focus on the past, that's going to affect your future. But this is supposed to be fresh, the Fool. Nothing else with it, right? Be persistent with that. Fresh, nothing else with it. This is a brand new path. But so if you focus on the future, or so if you focus on the past, you're going to bring some past energies into your future manifestation. Don't do that. But I really almost feel like I don't even have to like say it, because you are persistent and defiant to have this Fool energy. And right now it's Magician. Manifest with that energy. Use it. It's almost like the only thing you really need to do for yourself right now is to cleanse energy, to just practice mindfulness, be in the moment, deal with whatever needs to be done right now. It also includes, like, don't focus on, oh my God, how much I think I got to get done by tomorrow, or how much I think I got to get done by this week, or what I need. Just do what you're doing right now. That's it. Because you're manifesting. And look at this. The outcome, if you follow the advice, is your wish is being granted. Well, the Queen of Wands. It's like taking a bow. It's finalizing something and receiving an accolade. This performance. Well, what is really interesting is we started with someone coming out behind a curtain. That could really honestly look like, right, there's all this light on the stage and someone coming out for the first time or for their scene. It's almost like, it is like that, isn't it? Because you're starting this reading about to open, the curtains are about to open. And what you're about to be is a surprising, refreshing discovery. Whoa, whoa. Some of you might even get discovered in some talent or something here. Because then we end this with the outcome as a wish coming true, and you're now taking a bow like the performance is over. Some of you could even have some sort of an apprehension or a fear about public speaking or public performance or being on a stage or being in front of others in that way. And that feeling has stopped you from pursuing something. So I want to say, if there's something that has stopped you from pursuing something, you're going to get past it, right? And it's almost like that boulder again, like even just coming back to that, because you're going to be taking a bow, honey. You're going to be taking a bow. Leo was being told, take your bow, bitch. Take your bow. Take your bow. With a 5 of Wands in the Tower. I don't know what that is, but I feel like there's a surprise. There's the Tower, right? There's the surprise. And then the 5 of Wands is sort of, wow, it feels like the energy pushing against that surprise. Having to break something down here. You're determined to have a new path. And there is some energy here that's trying to... It's trying to block you. Why? I don't know why. I didn't fill up my water. Larry, give me more water. Not very helpful. All right, who you are. Revelation, surprise, and Ace of Cups. The Ten of Swords. Well, you certainly can't be knocked down. Wow. This has, honest to God, that's the energy of like being completely discounted. And I mean, come on. I mean, this is almost like, you know, knocked out on the ground, out cold. And the opponent's like, I told you, we did nothing to knock out Aquarius. So they turn their back. It's like a surprise. Because how this person is coming out. It's surprise, discovery, revelation. And Jesus, it's really... Who you really are, too, is, okay, there might even be something significant for you in some sort of a Scorpio placement or in the 8th house. Be interested to know, like, some of you, what planets in the 8th house, or, you know, what you have sitting in Scorpio. Because that is a serious, like, that is the symbolism of death and rebirth right there. I mean, too, the surprise, and she's got all these butterflies going to go out and into the curtain, like, onto the stage. I really can't help but feel that some of you might be performers somehow, and that you've taken a hiatus, or you've suffered some sort of an injury. What's interesting? I just got Celine Dion in with that one, but I think she's an Aries. That's curious. I might pull cards on that later. It's like that. It's like, because returning to something that you've done before, like the way this light is shining, there's like so much expectation. And the butterflies symbolize this is a rebirth. So you're stepping out again. Stepping out again for the first time, especially with the Ten of Swords sitting here. And in the Ace of Cups, it's almost just like a crowning glory. It could even be emotional, very emotional. And I think, too, the reason I'm just picking up on Celine Dion, if you're not familiar with that, she is, well, obviously a worldwide known singer. Has really an incredibly powerful voice, but she's been diagnosed, well, not just, but she's been dealing with a diagnosis that is not able to sing anymore, right? So that's what I'm talking about. It's like something here that it's a gift, and it doesn't even have to necessarily be a type of talent, but it is something about being like discounted, receiving some sort of a prognosis, discounted, a prognosis, but then who you really are is like judgment almost with that energy. Lily just groaned. She's like, oh Lord, that sounds like a lot. Don't you worry about it, honey. I'll look after it for you. Okay, so the mask you're hiding behind is a new path. 7 of Pentacles. How do I do this? Where do I go? I don't know. The 5 of Cups. But you are the Ace of Cups. You're not crying in your bed at night. You're not disappointed. But why do people think they are? Think you are? Why do people think they are? There we go. Projection. That's the answer to that question right there. People think you are because they are. They're disappointed and trying to plan and find a new path. So they assume that you are. Interesting. Answer that question quickly. Why you hide your true self? You're persistent and you're defiant, and you have a particular type of perspective about, I guess, a new beginning for you. And it needs to be clear and fresh and carefree. Persists the Fool. Persists the Fool. The King of Cups. It's interesting. A deep emotional well. Judgment. There it is. There it is. The deepest part of you will not be released until whatever this is that you're trying to achieve, which feels like something like a clean slate, I would probably say that with this Fool energy, a clean slate and judgment. And judgment, right? They rise from the coffins naked. So they're not really taking anything from the past with them. The purity of your heart with the King of Cups. There's that Scorpio energy too. That is Scorpio. How this affects your relationships? Well, shit. Launching, actualizing, and bringing potential to dreams and wishes. Eight of Swords. I just heard go where no man has gone before. So I don't know where that is. Damn, the Strength card and the Star. This is removing obstacles. You're taking the hard way around the boulder, and then you're going down the path and you're digging under the boulder to allow it all to move. This is being the strongest you, really. The Strength card and the Star, your card. The most persistent of you. The most determined. The most self-controlled you. Okay, that's the other thing too, because I'm just looking at that card and I'm saying the most self-controlled you. I'm just hearing, like, because of this Ace of Cups, it's like I can hear the thunder of that water rushing. Oh, isn't that interesting, right? The water rushing. I can hear the thunder of that water rushing. And because I have what feels like a stage environment, it's like you can hear it. You can hear the audience. You can feel it. Like if someone was deaf, they can feel. Oh, I have to apologize. I'm speaking of that. Or anyone has any hearing impairments. I don't know why the closed captioning is not coming on some of my videos. It's a YouTube thing, because some of them it is and some of them they're not. And I've gone into the background and it's turned on. So I don't know. So if it's not in this one, I apologize. Or I guess you can't. It's not helping anybody that doesn't have the closed caption. I don't know. YouTube has done that before. This is the third time at least since I've had my channel where this has been a problem. And I don't know if it's some sort of background update that they do, and it messes up closed captioning sometimes. I don't know why. Sorry. So, but yeah, it is like you can feel it. You can hear that thunder, that cheering. But this person is not responding to that. They're feeling it. They like it. They feel that they like it. But what they're responding to is when they're ready to walk out. I love it. It's kind of classy in a way. It's a classy, reserved energy. I get that with the Strength card and the Star. Like taking the time to be present. That's what you're being guided to do. Because there's all this thunderous applause. It's like there's all this thunderous applause. Yes! Yeah! Like if you could imagine the Celine Dion fans, to think that she would never be able to perform again, and if some sort of miracle cure, she's able to. Like all of her fans would probably like within minutes buy tickets for like, or I don't know what you would call it, coming out again concert or something. And you know, you could just hear them like the minute the audience is filled and just waiting and waiting and waiting. Should have been on the stage 5 minutes ago and waiting and waiting. And you could get caught up in that. But I think what's so beautiful is she's stopping to look at the butterfly. She's just taking that moment in. It's a beautiful moment. Don't let it go unnoticed. You know, that's the other thing that's really, I want to say, kind of classy about that. It's a beautiful moment. Don't let it go unnoticed. Not being driven by your ego and needing to immediately respond to that. Because that's what she's doing. She's taking a moment to look at the butterfly. And so it brings me down here again. Well, it's actually where we're going next. Is the advice, right, is in the now, awareness and acceptance. So it's like, don't miss the beautiful moments right now. There could be something really profound going on in a cycle that you're in right now. You could even be going through some difficult shit, or you could be going through a period of temperance. That's been something come up a lot for you guys lately. Not seeing it here yet. But whatever it is, it's like there's something in this moment that you may not have again. And I could see that with the butterfly. What are the chances? All those butterflies have perhaps been released, and it's like some sort of beautiful theatrical stage moment, and one has come and landed on your hand. But if you're so caught up in what's about to happen on the other side of the curtain, you would miss such a beautiful moment that would never happen again. So, advice for you. Manifest with that. Walk out with that energy. That's it. Walk out with that energy, not that. What did you get here? What did you get? You got the Five of Cups, or the Five of Pentacles, and the Nine of Cups. I don't know what this came in. I want to say because what's affecting your relationship, how it's affecting your relationships, what you're doing here is turning, you're actualizing dreams. You're making potential reality. So I kind of want to do it like this. It feels like the right thing to do with how everything is flowing. So, because, right, what you can't see, turning it into what you can, you can dream it. And by doing that, starting to create it. Thank you. Excuse me. Maybe somebody said bless you or something. I don't know. Thank you. Thank you. This is going from a lack to fulfillment. This is possibly also being in a period of physical lack in some way, and then through that finding emotional sovereignty. Yeah. So use that. Doesn't matter, right? She's in the winter. And this is the winter. But that doesn't matter because this is the spring. And this is the fulfillment. You're manifesting a spring. One of the things that I've always utilized in terms of, getting through difficult times or doing stuff you really don't feel like doing is to always remember the fact that before you know it, today will be tomorrow. Your today will be what used to be yesterday. Does that make sense? Am I not explaining that right? So it doesn't matter. You can do it or not do it, but today's coming. So how do you want it? Tomorrow is coming. See how important it is to be in today for you? I can't even vocalize it. Because it doesn't matter. You could choose to do nothing, or you could choose to do something. You could choose to live in the moment. You could choose to be aware of what's going on for you right now, or you could choose to ignore it. And it's almost like live in the moment. If you continue to live in the moment, before you know it, the moment that you will be living in is a dream or a wish. As opposed to not living in a dream or a wish yet, and only just thinking about the dream or the wish in the future. Live in your moment. Don't lose this moment. Outcome, if you follow the advice, is a wish being granted and taking a bow here. Ooh, it's the Two of Cups. The Two of Cups, Justice, and the Knight of Pentacles. Goodness, it feels very good. It feels like a very good wish. If this wish involves you and someone else, I want to say that it's reciprocal. This is like a wish on both ends. It's divine justice. It's balance in the cosmos. And it is slow and steady. Just keep Knight of Pentacles. Like, it's just so slow and steady and almost predictable in a way. Yeah. Well, this was a very interesting reading. What the hell would we call this thing? What have we got here? Oh yeah, it was the She Who Stands. And at the bottom, we have the Hermit. The Hermit and the Three of Swords. Oh, maybe y'all have been taking a long time to look at pain and heartbreak and disappointment. Well, you've got the Ten of Swords here. And, people perceive you as trying to find a new direction here. Trying to come up with some new answers for yourself. Being sad and disappointed. But honestly, you're about to step out of the curtain with a butterfly in your hand. And the angels singing and the crowd is cheering. Just good stuff here. There is really good stuff here, Aquarius. I'm going to go do the extended. In the extended, I'm going to look at how you can improve your relationships, what your deeper self would tell you about the mask that you wear, which is interesting, and What was the other one? Oh, yeah, how to release your true potential. Thank you so much, Aqua Babies. Until next time, do be gentle with yourselves. Bye.